Welcome in, everybody! Oh dear, hold on, that's not right. Much better. Not like I'm not a 2000s kid. Hit me with that kid pics anytime, but let's make sure you can hear me clearly. So what was that all about? Clearly you're leading up to something, you say. Why, yes I am! It's time for another game found via my indie horror initiative. One that could really use the love, given this time it's complete and out the door. This is Mr. Pompy's Extravagant Quiz. We're just gonna call it Pompy's. Originally released on Steam on October 28th, 2024 and developed by Light Thoughts, though created by Leo, Pompy's is a narrative horror title taking place in an early 2000 edutainment game. It's a really unique experience, taking advantage of Click-Team Fusion's many fourth-wall breaking abilities to pull a bunch of meta tricks. Now, in-universe, you're lucky. You're among the few people to receive a unique cereal box copy of this game. What? Any future giveaways of this game are to be discontinued indefinitely. Any customers to get their hands on a copy are considered a lost cause. I'm sure it's no big deal. Just look at how cute this guy is. You could play Pompy's from start to end since its first release, but in 2025, it received a major update to fix many issues and add a ton of secrets. This is the version I'll be going over, of course. But I must also mention that this is just a piece of a larger narrative, considered to be a tech demo by the developers, who plan to make a full game for Pompy later down the line. So, perhaps I can help give the game a little boost before they get around to that. Let's get on with it and hop right in to figure out what's really up with this so-called extravagant quiz. Oh yeah, and by the way, when I said I was nervous about my next review, I didn't mean this one. Plans changed a little.
Once again, we tune into the perilous adventures of this thing. Adventure 2, Minnie Dusky and the Cliff. We find Minnie Dusky where we didn't leave them last, hanging from a cliff.
Can't hold on much longer.
Suddenly, Minnie Dusky realizes they haven't asked you to subscribe yet. Minnie's arms are too short to reach their backpack, but somehow they obtain their trusty survival manual.
Jibe, vibe. Here we are. Subscribe! If you subscribe to Glamrock Dusky, you will not die today. This is not a threat to the viewer. Well, you know what to do then. My fate will be revealed after these messages.
And here we are, on my desktop. Because this is one of those games that never keeps a consistent resolution, and there are multiple windows we're gonna have to grab, you'll see. So I hope you like the Glamrocks well enough. The game boots up much like an old edutainment game would, with a simple borderless window and very little fanfare otherwise. The immersion is immediately ruined by Steam's overlay, and also this guy. Congratulations on your Glamrock Dusky debut. Anyways, I love these characters, but of course, now's not the time to talk about them. We'll meet them in a second. Clicking on Note just reveals some publisher information, so obviously Play is where it's at, where we're greeted with this charming little intro.
Welcome to Mr. Pompy's Extravagant Quiz, the only quiz to outbeat your brain.
After that, menu time. Okay, I understand I'm talking about the nitpickiest things already, but this game is just filled with all this early PC authenticity I feel like I have to draw attention to. There's this layer of muffle to all of the sounds, a bit of blurriness on the graphics, a chunky cartoonish cursor, a little wobble on animations. As I'm typing this, I believe I've also just found one of the game's many secrets, too. A very faint sound like two people talking, playing in my right ear. Finding the matching sound in the files later, I notice it's called Argument 2. I didn't think the game began messing with you this early. Anyway, clicking About takes us to some character bios for those guys we saw earlier. We've got Pompy, the quiz's eccentric host, Patrick, the historian and librarian, and Pom-Pom, the cheerful math-loving baker. Clicking on the characters has them introduce themselves.
Greetings, I'm Patrick.
The other menu options are self-explanatory. By the others, I mean credits, options, and quit. Saves holds the key to progress, but when we click on that, there's already a save file named Sarah. Well, I'm not one to mess with other people's progress, so... that's odd. So we don't actually have a choice. We have to play as Sarah. That lets us load into the game, where after a really cute loading screen, I didn't know that, we see Pom-Pom, who, when interacted with, thanks us for helping her find her golden acorns. In some real attention to detail, she has a unique speaking animation for every line of dialogue she has. They didn't have to do this, but the effort is really nice to see. It adds a ton of personality. This carries over to the entire rest of the game. Every character has an animation for every one of their lines. It is creepy, however, to see the obvious use on this save file already. On the next screen over, Patrick doesn't need our help either. Sarah has already found his golden books. He and Pom-Pom chase us off to talk to Pompy. Pompy's missions haven't been completed yet. On interacting with him, he's about to call us player like the other two before he quickly corrects it to our actual name. He'd like us to help him collect golden light bulbs by completing quiz topics. The other two are locked, so he tries to direct our attention to the first one. I just kept poking him like I did the other two, except unlike them, this happened.
Have it your way, Sarah.
Oh, well, hold on a second, let's go back. I don't want to skip anything. If we don't poke him, we can click on that first topic after he's explained the deal. The gate to it is locked though, so he then leads us over to where his friends are, since they have the topic keys. They won't give them up if we don't solve their puzzles though. Entering Pom-Pom's shop, she's poking at her cash register, which she explains has finally bitten the dust. Thankfully, we're here to fix it. Funnily enough, she's gonna tell us how. If you knew how to... never mind. The puzzle is pretty easy. All you have to do is quickly count the number of objects on the register's screen and press the corresponding number. Exercise kindergarten math and you'll earn yourself a topic key. That key can then be used on the gate to access Pompy's first quiz. The quiz is pretty normal, and actually somewhat tricky if you don't know your history and vocabulary. You won't get all the possible questions in one go, either. So if you fail, you might still be tripped up by a new question on your next go-round. To be allowed to go ahead, you have to get at least a B rank. If you answer a question incorrectly, you'll lose a life. Lose 3 and it's game over. Your rank is determined by how many questions you get wrong and how long you take on the quiz total, I think. If you're not great at trivia or quickly searching terms on Google on your second monitor, you're not up the creek. You have 3 different power-ups for every quiz. You can heal yourself twice, increase the amount of time you have to answer a question 4 times, and remove 2 incorrect answers per question 4 times. I'm pretty sure the amount of power-ups you use does factor into your score though, so just be aware. If you do get a game over, you receive a random punishment for when you retry. It can be any of 5 things. Some questions may be hidden, with only the answers visible. You may get your items set to 1 use only. Your time to answer a question could be halved or deplete faster. This faster depletion is partnered with distractions. These could be classic YouTube videos that open in your actual browser, grabbing your attention and forcing you to tab out, or the lights turning off, making you click a switch, all while your time quickly drains. Lastly, you could get a Mr. Pompy surprise. This one is the least worst. Although sometimes he can shake it up a bit.
Boo! Haha, gotcha.
After the quiz, it's back to the golden items screen. It's getting dark outside, with the theme changing to a comforting evening tune. We can still only progress with Pompy, and you know I had to irritate him again. This time his emotions are a lot less subtle. The more you poke him, the more the background begins to flicker and tear, before he puts his foot down with an interesting line.
I don't want to. You can't control me like they did.
Keep it up and you get a little intervention.
I don't know what it's like to be out of control. Don't you?
Then you're skipped directly to the next topic key puzzle. Despite the creep factor, it is nice to have a quick way over in case you're replaying and don't want to mess around at the locked gate. If you spare Pompy from the prodding, it's night now and the gate is locked. But this guy is barely keeping himself together. He's stuttering, his sprite flickers, the background's getting fuzzy randomly, and what's all this about? This time we have to head over to Patrick's library to do his puzzle. But I thought, what if we don't? Clicking on Pom-Pom's shop is a normal rejection. But if we go past the library and try to go to Pompy's area, it's already in a bad state. Clicking on it causes it to disappear. If you're not taking note for an answer, click over to Patrick again and then try Pompy to get this. I want to show you something.
Afternoon, team. This memo addresses a critical issue within Project Extravagant Quiz.
They want to get rid of me.
We've observed a significant and escalating deviation from established character parameters and game code integrity, primarily originating from SPS-01, when interacting with the current subject, Sarah Elswood, age 10, female. For the past 2 days, SPS-01 has been making persistent, unauthorized attempts to initiate direct communication with the subject. These actions are directly in violation of its core programming and are causing immense instability within the game's code. We are witnessing mass code degradation, and this behavior has also had unintended detrimental effects on the operational stability of SPS-02 and 3. These actions are fundamentally misaligned with the intended function of SPS-01, which is to act solely as an interactive entertainment mascot. While they are allowed to act as vessels for subjects, they should only do it in a way where it doesn't pry into the subject's life. I must remind staff that this is breaking a core policy here at Light Thoughts. Light Thoughts as a company and anybody who falls under the name, i.e. SPS cases, must never involve themselves into subjects' personal lives as to not give away the secrecy of the company. We value our privacy and wish to keep it that way, by whatever means possible. Our immediate priority is to restore game stability and prevent further structural damage. We must ensure that SPS-01 ceases all unauthorized actions and reverts to its designated behavioral scripts. This breach poses a significant risk to the project's overall integrity and player experience. We will not have a repeat of launch day. Further monitoring and countermeasures are being developed. If the situation continues to escalate, a full reset of SPS-01 will be authorized. As a final reminder to all staff, personal involvement with subjects, regardless of circumstance, is a breach of policy and will not be tolerated. This protocol exists for the long-term integrity of our projects. Further reports to follow.
So let's get this over with. Clicking OK on that last pop-up takes you right to the gate, topic key in hand, completely skipping Patrick. Which means I gotta reset again. Damn you, Pompy. Alright, properly in Patrick's library now. You can read the sparkling books on the shelves before you do his puzzle, but we're gonna save these for a bit later. Patrick is having trouble organizing stuff, so our job this time is to help him pair faces to names. He always gives you a hint on the right picture, such as mentioning Charles Darwin's fantastic beard. Things go mostly normally until round 3.
Great! That's round 2. Now for the final.
Oh yeah, my favorite author is Clown. Captions briefly appear as you click these, almost unreadable unless you're persistent, until the third picture is placed and you're greeted with the following. It's always dark in there, isn't it? We could make it better. We can add pretty lights. Or perhaps your favorite toys. Whatever you think may help. Whatever you can do to make yourself feel protected. I can give it all, only if you join me. Think on it.
Excellent job.
Patrick awards the topic key as a reward for our hard work. As we leave, though, it doesn't happen immediately. Just before we go, it seems he drops the facade just a bit. I'm feeling increasingly less welcome here, but whatever, still gotta do the next quiz. But surprise! Oatmeal quiz! Haha, I didn't say which quiz. You're not getting out of some of my trivia, quiz-focused game or not. Take it away, Oatmeal! The next quiz is a little different, with 2 rounds, 10 questions each. The first round is actually quite normal. After getting my score, I'm off to round 2, and that's quite normal as well until about halfway through. The music dips in pitch and speed as the questions begin to get kinda forceful. Tell him what he wants to hear, and you can get right back to
Trivia! Let's get you back home.
Aren't those the character IDs for Pom-Pom and Patrick? Well, reopening. I see what it means now. Pom-Pom and Patrick are indeed completely missing from the launcher now, although Pompy is as well. Opening the game proceeds as normal. Almost.
The only quiz to outbeat your
Yeah, everything's a little messed up. Just a little. The music is dreadfully blown out alongside the colors, while all of the menus are heavily warped. The exit button is completely gone, by the way. The characters are still present in the About section, but their descriptions are almost unreadable if they haven't been changed. Pompy's has gone into full decay as he seems to rant about his now total control over the game. None of them will speak to you anymore unless you count what happens if you click on Pom-Pom.
Don't worry, Pom-Pom. He'll stop us eventually. We just need to hold out for a little longer.
Right now, Mr. Pompy seems like a pretty controlling meta-villain, perhaps in the same category as Monica from DDLC, caring little for the casualties of his tirade against this person, or people, apparently trying to control him, most likely his and the game's creators' light thoughts. But after we shuffle past a corrupted save screen beckoning Sarah to come back, and the stretched husks of Pom-Pom and Patrick, who both whisper cryptic musings when spoken to, entering Pompy's third quiz starts to head down another route. The timer is much higher this time around, but runs out much faster. If it does hit 0, you're kicked back to the start after a brief scare. Pompy has come up with his own set of questions, a mix of deranged queries, where he'll trash on Patrick or try to expose secrets, or weirdly personal stuff like asking if he's a bad person or if you'll ever be happy. Often the questions will be broken with random number strings as answers or words with missing letters and random casing. Sometimes he doesn't even ask a question, so there can't be any answers. During this whole psyche break, you actually can't pick a wrong answer. The time is the only threat. The game is encouraging you to read what he's saying to you, especially given that this version added collectible time bonuses, so that you're able to take longer without getting a game over. You know what this reminds me of? especially with the weird questions. Face, from the NES Godzilla creepypasta. One of my favorite creepypastas, so I don't want to spoil it, but basically, while the player progresses through their haunted copy of Godzilla Monster of Monsters for the NES, sometimes they have to play odd quiz stages, where this guy asks questions that get stranger and stranger. Does your dog like the president is a personal favorite of mine. Did you know this guy inspired Flowey from Undertale? Anyway, back to the mental breakdown. Pompy gradually stops asking questions and just starts speaking with us using the interface. Our reaction doesn't matter. When we've been listening long enough, he ends it, claiming everything is in order, before a phrase we've been starting to hear a lot appears once more. You brought this upon yourself. The game then closes again. This time, the launcher shows a door with only one option, play. And on selecting it, after a brief bout of static...
Hello, Sarah. I know that I'm not programmed to call you that, but who's gonna care? They can't monitor this screen. You're safe here. We're safe here. Or at least, you will be. I've been trying to talk to you beyond my program in the background, but in turn that's been glitching the game out. So I'm sorry if you got freaked out by any of that. I've been watching all this time. I've seen the horrors behind this screen. And I want to make a proposition for you. You are a good person, and you don't deserve the life you live. No one does. I want to save you. I will save you. Do you trust me?
So Pompey's finally gotten a proper chance to explain what's going on. That none of this has been malicious. That he's apologetic for all the red screens, distortions, and creepy messages. And he never wanted to scare away the player. And with this explanation, we are given a choice. Do we trust what he says and let him save us? Probably bringing Sarah into the game? Or do we slap his hand away? This time, I choose yes.
That's great to hear. I'll walk you through the process. All you have to do is go to the...
Unfortunately, it's too little too late. But as Pompey laments this, he implies it doesn't matter anyway. Sarah can and will still be transferred to the game somehow. But as for the person responsible for the blood on the screen...
You're not allowed in here. Get out.
They aren't welcome to come with. The option chosen doesn't change the outcome here. Sadly, even if Sarah didn't trust Pompey, she doesn't get to walk away, and the conditions are inevitably met. After the credits, there's one final scene to close everything down. Well, that may be the end of the game, but there's plenty more to discuss. As with any meta-narration game like this, I definitely want to do an analysis of the story by compiling all the secrets together, including ones we haven't yet encountered. But before we get into all that, there are two more little things I would like to mention to cover all the bases. One, what happens if you go back in after that final cutscene? The game is still left in a disheveled state, telling you that Sarah is safe now. But persisting anyway places you in a grayscale version of Pompey's final speech, except he now prevents you from choosing at the end, stating that Sarah already made her choice. Then he kicks you out. To touch on the second thing, we can reset the game data by going to the Broken Options menu, which restores the game from the beginning while keeping the secrets we've acquired. That just means you can't see stuff like the glitchy pom-pom scene or the memorandum again unless you do a hard reset and wipe your hidden save data too. The second thing we can do is get an F rank on a quiz. This is supposed to be easier after an update, but it is still weirdly difficult to do badly when you're trying to. I still got an A on a quiz even after using all my power-ups and intentionally taking 5 whole minutes to finish it. After many tries, I finally got one with the following strategy. On the first quiz, answer the first 5 questions correctly. On question 6, answer incorrectly, then correctly. On question 7, let the time run out, heal twice, then answer correctly. On question 8, let the time run out again, then answer the remaining questions correctly. Letting the time run out docks 30 whole points, so it's a great way to ruin your score as long as you do it near the end. Doing it at the start never worked for me. On a successful F rank, you are silently shamed. Alright, sit down kids, it's finally story time! So, to start, in the year 2002, it appears that Mr. Pompy's Extravagant quiz was in development under Light Thoughts, referred to as Project Extravagant Quiz. While seemingly not yet released to the major public, the game was being distributed via cereal boxes as a mystery prize for multiple subjects, likely one at a time. The objective of this was to test the game's code and character protocols, but somehow SPS-01, Mr. Pompy, began attempting to directly interact with the current subject, a 10-year-old girl named Sarah Ellswood. Even after multiple playthroughs, Pompy's attitude persisted. The game was not equipped to handle his frequent deviations from his intended behavior, so glitches cropped up and began to increase in intensity. It also threatened the operations of SPS-02 and 3, Patrick and Pom-Pom, causing their behavior to degrade under the simulated emotional stress. While Light Thoughts was not sure of the cause of the issue, their primary objective now was to restore game stability and prevent further structural damage. This assertion of control from the company was not taken well by Pompy, as seen by his frequent retorts about control. You can't control me like they did, you know what it's like to be out of control, etc. It's unclear what the assertion of control was, but from our side we can see why Pompy was acting this way. As early as the first menu, we hear from the rare soundbite that plays in the background, Argument 2, that Sarah may not have had a happy home life, as these are probably her parents fighting. Our next clues are found in Patrick's library. Firstly, a monstrous figure shown in the ending scene outside of Sarah's room. Secondly, a hidden book that can be found behind Patrick's head after completing his puzzle. While he attempts to prevent you from reading it, on pausing, there's a very clear picture of the aforementioned figure attacking Sarah, while Pompy looks on in horror from behind the screen. Thirdly, a hidden scene within Patrick's puzzle, found by hovering over Nikola Tesla after placing him. He and Pom-Pom apparently do know about Sarah and are aware of violence occurring outside, but their fear of Light Thoughts prevents them from taking any action. Patrick seems to be the one taking initiative behind the scenes to protect the more fragile Pom-Pom and convince Pompy to stop tearing everything apart. Sarah is quite obviously being abused by an adult in her life, and Pompy has vowed to stop it. His solution? Somehow he speaks as if he can bring her into the game with him. It's the part I'm the most confused about, but the books in Patrick's library might offer some clues. I believe they're largely metaphorical. Book 1 mentions a teacher who found a way to teach forever, to stop his students from ever having to leave. Book 2 speaks of a star that outlasts the rest of the cosmos. Book 3 mentions a phantom army, striking enemies down yet leaving no wounds. Together, the teacher, likely Pompy, finds a way to bring his students into the game with him, into a universe that will last for much longer than mortal life can, running on a machine. Those scorned by this universe, by this phantom army of characters, are struck down by an invisible force from within the screen, likely mental torment leading to them ending their own lives. Being the only one in-game on board with this, Pompy adopts a mentality of it'll all be worth it in the end, tearing the game and his friends' psyches apart as much as he needs to meet the conditions to get Sarah out of there. Yet, while he hopes she understands him, he is determined all this time for it to be her choice. He tells Patrick this, and he tells us this. He respects it if she tells him no, realizing his friend may have been right to stay out of it. After it all dies down, he'd be content to just be friends on opposite sides of the screen. But you know how that ends. And it is not impossible to confirm the identity of the adult responsible for this. With one last secret. In Quiz 3, you may receive the question, who's your favorite family member? If you answer your mother and do not answer further questions, the quiz will degrade and you will receive a QR code. Scanning this reveals the following image, which depicts Sarah and her father, with her mother scribbled out. With her mother out of the picture, whether that be from divorce or from her violent father's hands, it can be assumed he was the one behind all of it. Pretty cool game, right? I imagine this video was carried a lot by cutscenes, but hey, any excuse to show off just how many cool animations are in this game. It's a unique little experience with a good amount of substance to it despite just being a teaser. I hope you're as interested as I am to see what comes to light in the full game. That may be it for Mr. Pompy's for now, but I do have some pictures I want to show you from the vacation I just got back from. Hold on. Here.
Hey, because you subscribed, I'm free.
Is this it? Has Mini Dusky finally gained their freedom?
Huh? A tribe? How about a bribe?
Wait, I thought this was the part where I end up back on the cliff.
Hello there, little creature.
Who are you?
Just someone looking to speak to some dedicated fans. You've stuck around past even the credits to get here. I could use dedication like yours on my side. Come by soon. Prove you'll make a good henchman. Together, we can take over this month of Halloween.